Hi, I'm Alanah Pearce, and I'm going to be answering 24 questions. Who is Alanah Pearce? How existential should I get with this? I am a video game writer. I've been in the games industry for a decade, was previously games media. I'm now working at Sony Santa Monica Studio, who you probably know for making God of War. As a person, I'm very sleepy. That's probably my main personality trait. What is Alanah Pearce doing now? This one definitely came from Google. I work at Sony Santa Monica Studio writing a video game, but also in my spare time, I make YouTube videos and do Twitch streams. Majority of that stuff is all for charity, but I have a wonderful time doing it in any case. What is Alanah Pearce's hair routine? I don't actually do anything. So this is hair that I woke up and brushed. But the part that keeps it white is a shampoo called Fanola No Yellow. It's a purple shampoo that keeps yellow or orange out of blonde hair. That stuff is what keeps it this tone all the time. How tall is Alanah Pearce? I am 5'10", which in my mother tongue is about 178 centimeters. Where is Alanah Pearce going? Damn, I didn't expect this question today. I think I will probably be working at Sony Santa Monica Studio for quite some time, but I actually think I'm gonna focus more, in my outside of work hours on stuff like filmmaking, like making short films, making documentaries. I think I might start using my YouTube for kind of slightly more complicated film-esque formats, basically. Dream project. I don't tend to look at things in terms of who is the dream project or what is the holy grail of a thing that I want to work on. People were asking this for years when I said I just really wanted to write a video game and that's what I was heading towards. I kept getting the question of well, what do you want to write? What video game do you want to write? I care more about the team that I work with than necessarily the project that I work on, because if you work with a really good team of people who are inspiring, super knowledgeable, experts in their field, you can get very involved in any project. It doesn't matter what it is. If you're working with a good team, you will love what you're doing. Any project I do, I just want it to be with people who can teach me a ton of stuff and are really fun to collaborate with. Dream character to portray. So I have more recently got into voice acting.
Hands off my car!
Slowly getting better. Some of it's not great. Some of it I think actually is pretty good.
You cannot scare me. I'm too smart for your little game, so stop trying. It's getting embarrassing.
But I have two that I would love to do. Not characters, just voices. One is a Valley Girl. So I would do this. But the problem is that I don't know where it belongs in a video game. The other one is the rockstar trailer lady. In Los Santos, you can buy houses. Either of those things I think would be very fun for me to do. Dream character to write, to give the closest to a real answer to this that I can, it would be someone who is incredibly different to me and hard to relate to. Because I get very sparked by a character if I feel oh, I understand this because I have this quality. So having someone who'd be very, very, very different to me, I think would probably be really exciting and really difficult, and thus the kind of challenge that I want in my life. Morning routine. I wake up, make a coffee, and work. Basically what that looks like is, I guess I do wash my face in there as well. I sleep for as long as I possibly can. So say I have to start work at 9, I will wake up at 8:50. Start making my coffee, which is just an espresso, so you just hit 2 buttons. Go wash my face, brush my teeth. I put some facial oil on, brush my hair. That's it. So my morning routine is terrible and is all about maximizing the amount of sleep I can have. Favorite swear word? I don't know if I can even... I'm not going to say it because it's probably Americans will watch this, but I do have a fondness for the C word because I'm Australian. Brits love it too. It's something that we say really colloquially in a friendly way to people in Australia, and I think because of that it's emblematic of the whole country for me, and I miss it a little bit.
You can say it.
I can say cunt. Let me give you an example then. So if I do say it, the context that I would usually say it in, never negative, is in Australia we would call someone a sick cunt or a mad cunt. So you'd be he's a sick cunt. This dude rules. He's super fun to be around. Mad cunt is very similar. It's someone who's top quality is a sick cunt or a mad cunt. Creative routine. I think probably just by virtue of the career that I've had, or just the professional experience that I've had. My creative routine has sort of just been born out of a specific production background, actually. But I tend to look at everything from the mindset of a producer, because I was a producer at IGN and at Funhaus, and I also think it helps me a lot with my job at Santa Monica Studio to just think like a producer, which really just means a lot of organizing and planning. All of the planning stuff comes in before the creation stuff, and I think that's probably part of why I am able to get a lot of stuff done, because if I've tried to write books and have just been like, I'm just gonna sit down and write, it never gets finished. So definitely having a lot of structure. Yeah, my creative routine is ultimately not that creative, it's very organized. What does "you will never walk alone" mean to you? YNWA, "You'll never walk alone" is a slogan that is associated with Liverpool Football Club. It's something that if I ever see somebody wearing a Liverpool shirt, I will kind of just yell it at them, which to anyone else around me, especially in the US, seems very weird, but it's always like, hey, we're part of the same club, and it's a lot of fun. But I think it's also a wonderful song that is about, you know, getting through a storm and knowing that you are not alone in anything that you do, and that there are always people with you. So it's something that I think is inspiring just in general, but also YNWA. That's it. What kind of voice would this have? I feel like I'm not going to do this accent right, but I feel like this dog is a, "Oh, hello, sweetie. Oh, what are you doing there?" But I feel like there's a Minnesota accent in there. I'm not sure why I feel that way, but I'm committing to it. Game to have the biggest impact on you. It's a very common answer, and I think that's one of the things that I probably really respect about it. But to go way, way, way back, it's probably Ocarina of Time. Ocarina of Time isn't even my favorite Zelda game. It wasn't my favorite Nintendo 64 game. But I think a lot of people have moments with Ocarina of Time where they realize what video games could do. And I think that I continue to really appreciate Ocarina of Time because we're still living in an era where most people who are playing video games have taken direct inspiration from Ocarina of Time in a lot of cases. Yeah, very impactful game, even if it's not necessarily my favorite. But I feel like you can't deny the influence it had on the industry as a whole, and on little tiny Alanah. Favorite song? My favorite song is Zombie by the Cranberries, but I also have a tremendous fondness for Freaks and Geeks by Childish Gambino. Weirdest expression of Batman fandom? My apartment is very small. I live in a studio apartment. If I did not have, I don't know, maybe 50 Batman statues, probably about 50 that just are everywhere, I would have so much more room for other things, to the extent that my clothes are in my kitchen cupboards. And before you ask, well, Alanah, what do you do with your kitchen stuff? It is in other cupboards. The truth is just that I don't have that many clothes so that I can make room to put them in the two cupboards that they're in. So my weirdest expression of Batman fandom would be that it has taken over my entire apartment, prevented me from getting, you know, any kind of like cupboard or chest of drawers in favor of having Batman merch everywhere, and all of it is very scary. I don't collect a regular looking Batman. I collect one that looks like a samurai or a vampire or a zombie. So I don't know what's wrong with me. Favorite Batman collectible? Damn. It's a tough one to answer. But I'm gonna go grab it. Let me just I'll just be right back. You'll see why. It's very bizarre. It would be this guy. People really hate him. And because he sits on, you know, one of my various Batman shelves, he really sticks out because of the eyes and the stupid face. I love him. I think he's so weird and truly terribly painted. You can see the paint underneath the eyes. Like, as someone who's been collecting for a really long time, it's not like it's well made. I just think it's so cute. He's just such a cute little guy. So also very cheap compared to a lot of the other stuff that I have. But just the strangest thing that a human envisioned and slapped Batman clothing onto. I absolutely love it. As your American Instagram character, how many American presidents can you name? Oh, I'm not going to be good at this. Okay. As my, again, Valley Girl character that I occasionally do Instagram reels of, we've got, obviously, Donald Trump, Joe Biden right now, Ronald Reagan. Trying to go in order, and I've already screwed that up, so it's George Bush. There is another George Bush. I missed like a really obvious, Bill Clinton. I think those are all the most recent ones. And then like everyone before that, I'm gonna sort of just guess, and like I could be wrong though. So I'm gonna leave it there confidently. I know those ones are presidents, okay? And that's it. We'll leave it at that. First job. My very first job was at McDonald's. I operated the drive-thru for the most part, and when I was bored in the drive-thru waiting for people, I would organize all of the notes. In Australia, our notes have windows on them that you can see through to verify that they're real notes, so I would like make sure all the windows were lined up and just have all the stacks neatly organized, because that job isn't always that high action, and when it is, it's pretty fun. Did one time have somebody... I don't actually know what they were mad about or what they felt like I had done, but, you know, they went through the drive-thru and got their milkshake, and then they came back through and threw the milkshake at me. So they still paid for it. Don't remember why it happened, but I ultimately actually really liked working at McDonald's. Very different to what I'm doing now, though. If you weren't in the gaming industry, what else would you be doing? I would just be writing elsewhere, I think. My two passions my whole life really have been writing and video games. I found a way to combine the two. If we remove video games, I think I would still just be writing about something else. Maybe I would be writing the screenplays that I'm writing in my spare time now. Maybe I would have published a book. Just different kinds of writing for sure. Tell us about fairy bread. I'm glad you asked. Fairy bread is an Australian, just absolute delicacy, where you have white bread. It's got to be the full preservative stuff. Put a bunch of butter on it. Again, full fat butter. And then you put hundreds and thousands sprinkles. Yeah, you sprinkle the top of them with those little tiny balls of sugar that are colored. And then you eat them. And it's actually quite nice. I still like it because it's just butter, sugar, and bread, which are three of the best things to ever have existed. But it does seem pretty absurd to anyone who's not from Australia. And sometimes it's hotly contested whether we should really be giving kids that much sugar, but we do, and it's wonderful. How does woman shoot gun? With boob? This comes from an no, it was probably an IGN comment that somebody left. A genuine comment when I worked at IGN that somebody was basically complaining about female characters, and ever since then, my friends and I have quoted this person's comment. They're kind of like famous in my friend group of colleagues who worked at IGN, where we use it anytime anyone says something that's like, you can't have women in video games. So it's, how does woman shoot gun? With boob? Because you have to say it with that amount of anger as well. Can you break an egg by squeezing it in one hand? Listen, I've not tried. And I do have really weak hands. I recently got into a motorbike accident. So this hand you can kind of see is like weird scars going on. It's still pretty weak. And I also have tendonitis in both of my wrists. So my hands are a bit of a mess. I'm gonna say no, but I will call out the people who make those TikTok videos where they like break the egg there.
I'm built different.
I could 100% do that. You just have to have the grip right. That's not a strength thing. That's just grip. I could do, maybe not the hands, but I could do the arms. I'll take a win. Francis York Morgan. Very good. This is good content. Francis York Morgan is the detective from Deadly Premonition 1 and 2. Name kind of technically changes depending on what part of the game you're in. But everyone just calls him York. He's lovable and wonderful, and Deadly Premonition is my favorite game ever. Thank you guys for watching. That was fun. Again, I'm Alanah Pearce. I work at Sony Santa Monica Studio, so you can check them out. Obviously, you might know them for making God of War. But on the internet, I'm known as Char-Alanahzard pretty much everywhere. It's my name in the middle of Charizard. I don't know why I decided to do that. I was 14. We all make mistakes. But yeah, I do regular charity streams, YouTube videos, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Definitely check out my podcast if you want to, called Play, Watch, Listen with Troy Baker, Austin Wintory, and Mike Bithell, where we talk about the games industry a whole lot. Otherwise, I will see you around. Bye!